And hello, welcome to the SOC Stream of Consciousness, coming from Oregon to Pennsylvania and to you. Here I have with me, and I am smoking in G sharp, and I have Lisa Hauserman.
Lisa Hauserman is here with you of Lounging with Lisa fame. I'm so sure. Welcome to SOC, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoy the journey. We have some good news to start with. We've been approved to go more than 15 minutes on our videos now. So we won't have to break it up or do any of that jazz. Yes, we're going to light applause, light applause. Okay, what do you have for us tonight, G?
I'm going to really throw something out in left field that you have not seen.
Uh-oh. Okay, good.
You
Let me,
probably have seen it, but I don't think you've seen it today. This is
oh,
going to be real left field here to start us off.
total left field starting us out. I'm ready for action.
Okay, here
Oh, I
we
think I
go.
know what this is. Okay.
Yes, this is water molecules. And when people go up to a little glass of water, like a little vial, they ask people to send an intention, like thank you or wisdom, thinking of these words and an image. And afterward, they look at the water molecules, obviously under a microscope at high power. But this is what they see with the different influences we put upon water.
Believe it or not, I knew about this one. It was one of the first things I learned when I started to dip my toe into the what many call woo. I heard from a researcher about a test that was done by a scientist who something along the lines of, well, just what you were saying. Basically, they put like love and hate, and the ones with love came out looking really pretty and peaceful and inviting, and the ones where they said hateful things didn't look as nice. It's really wild.
It really is. And the one in the far bottom left corner doesn't have a label. I don't know. It must be the one I just, took a snapshot of. But on others, that one was heavy metal music right there.
Oh, what was the one next to it? Because I was hoping our little
Yeah.
banner wasn't bothering it, but I don't think it
I
was.
don't think so. I think it's just I captured one without some labels. That's shockingly new.
Look at the
Um,
one that says "you fool" and it kind of goes in a
yeah,
spiral.
yes, you fool. And I noticed that as well. And I think, in my humble opinion, that when we put something out, there is a karma to it. It can return. So when you say someone's a fool, you may be careful that you're not saying or looking at yourself in the same way.
That's excellent advice. I mean, I'm trying to change my thought patterns. I'm going to go ahead and back this out.
I try to change my thought patterns. It is extremely hard.
It's
It's
getting
just it's getting easier though all the time because I'm walking away from the indoctrinated paradigm, opening my eyes up more, and I swear it's just like my spiritualism, my mental sharpness. I've been coming up with ideas lately that are just crazy good, and my spiritualism just feels, just like leaps and bounds. Once it's like walking outside to some fresh air.
Well, I'll tell you, I think we need all of that we can get in this day and age. A lot of confusion going on. There's some people that feel we were going to have a summer of confusion, and I think they are correct. And it's basically the system, the elites, whatever you want to call it, trying to cause chaos. What is it? Order out of chaos is what they want.
Oh, well, and that has been going on for hundreds of years.
Exactly.
That's why I'm saying, people, can we break the chain? It's like we're in this bad relationship. You've seen those women, sometimes men, but mostly women, who are in relationships where they get beat up and shoved around and the kids don't get treated. They stay. They stay in it
Right? Like
because
Stockholm syndrome, I think they call it.
exactly, they feel safer by knowing the daily abuse than stepping outside and trying something different. And people look at them, including me, going, I don't get it. Why aren't you leaving? Anyway,
It is a strange paradigm. Okay, go ahead and tell us about this. I'm going to mute my mic while you do.
alrighty. So what I have here is I pulled up a live leak, as you can see. I wish I could enlarge it, but if I do, it's going to take over my entire screen and it's going to be a bad day. So basically, this is one of those where a woman is in a big supermarket chain. I'm not quite sure which one just yet. I'll try to figure it out as we're watching. And she's being browbeaten and harassed by another woman right off the bat. Let me see if I can make sure it's at the beginning here. It's 5 minutes long, so I'm only going to play segments, but you'll all get the idea.
Okay, there you go. Let's record now.
Please leave the fucking store.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay, that's harassment. I'm filing charges.
Please leave.
That's your name?
Trespassing right now. We're asking you to leave. Get out of the
There you
store.
go.
The cops
Nice.
are about 100 feet away. They'll be here soon. Please
Nice.
leave.
That's okay. I'm actually not. So you guys, she just almost physically threatened me. So
Threatening everyone else by not wearing a mask.
I'm sorry, but under the Colorado Revised State Law, you actually, there's no
We're
grounds.
asking you to leave.
No,
We are denying you service.
you can't deny me service.
You can't trespass.
That's okay, because I'm going to show the
We're
cops
a
the
private
law.
business. We're a
It
private
does.
Okay. I'm going to stop it right there and interject that this is exactly the kind of mob mentality that we're going to have to watch out for. It's not just going to end with mass.
No, it is not. This is actually to get people ready for more drastic measures and see how far they can push it. Now, I want to talk to everybody seriously about this. I've been talking about it for a while, and I'm going to try to remain calm. Over the years, I've heard from some of my reactionary cohorts about how a certain religion is going to take over. And they were talking about the fact that the ladies always have to cover up and wear a particular religious garment. I'm trying to give somewhat of code language here. And those same people today, I know them in real life, are going around everywhere wearing one of these. And to me, I don't get it. Also, especially women, why aren't women realizing that other women have had traumatic experiences in their lives? Some of those traumatic experiences could have included something terrible that happened while the man was wearing a face covering, a ski mask, or whatever. And it can be psychologically damaging for particular women to go out in public and even see this going on. But you see, that doesn't matter now, because it's all for the greater good. It doesn't matter if you've suffered mentally or if you have a health issue that prevents you from wearing one of these things. That does no good, by the way. And there's a lot of evidence to show this. Of course, you will not find it on a Google search or Wikipedia search. You're going to have to step out of your comfort zone and even just check out somebody like The Last American Vagabond. I mean, he's hardly considered to be woo or a rabbit hole person. Okay. I'm going to pause and let you.
Okay.
I'm very frustrated by it.
It is frustrating. And here's the key inside the lock on just this little segment here. Now, as the store clerk was telling her, "We are denying you service," she said back, "No, you can't." Well, guess what, people? Yes, they can. If they want you to wear purple polka dot tennis shoes to come into their store, if they want you to wear hazmat uniforms to come into their stores, they can absolutely push the issue. And this is how they're getting around it. They realized quickly that there's a segment of the population who actually watch what's going on here. And they've called them at every corner where they try to make it government legislation. government law, and they keep falling on their face because they can't do it. So they said, oh, we'll just toss the tennis ball over the court to the corporate side of our fascism, because they can mandate whatever they want when you come into their private store. This is how they're getting around it, people. And when the corporate pushes it a little too far and the public goes, they will bat that damn tennis ball back to the government. And this is how they've been playing us, I would say, for at least the last 40 of my 60 some years of living. I have seen it, people, and it's just getting worse every year. And hello, here we are.
Okay, let me interject, as you'd say. Let me interject. When we put up, I forget what video it was, but Osama, you know Osama, left a comment under a recent video. For those who don't know Osama, he's a subscriber and a very nice person, a good person. And he left this video, and I checked it out today, and it was somebody pulling a gun. This was a person not wearing what I call the costume. And he was approached, and he whipped out a gun. And it was a news segment that was showing this, some sort of news. I don't remember the name of it or what it was. But the person, the anchor person, said, thank God these big stores are governing, because the government certainly won't. I can't believe these aren't mandated in all 50 states. And I thought of you immediately.
Well, it just gets down to our politics are not separated between the blue and the red here. You know, it's not the demo blue mob versus the Republican red mob. There are dozens of mobs in this country, and they have been slowly but surely taking over. And one of those mobs obviously tends to lean towards this fascist going into communist state. Now, the unfortunate part about all of this is a good share of the people who live here, you're adults, you know, the ones who are voting, the ones who are working, buy into the 5 major medias that these mobs run. They have been so conditioned to believe what they hear. And they're gone as far as I'm concerned. Right now, I'm just hoping to reach out to an audience that somewhat still has some wits about them to see how this fascist state has been playing us. And I don't know what else to say, Lisa. I guess I'm starting to kind of get upset. I'm starting to get upset.
Well,
yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
We can switch to something more exciting and a more uplifting in a second. But this is an important issue of our day. A lot of people are saying, oh, we shouldn't be arguing about the masks anymore. Oh, just stop it. Well, I'm sorry, but first of all, people need to be able to make an educated decision on whether to wear one or not. And they're not even given that choice, because you are not permitted to give a dissenting view, even if it's backed by science. You are not permitted. You will not be seen. You will not be heard by these 5 corporations that own everything. And it makes me angry as well. People have actually lost their jobs over it. Like Dr. Andrew Kaufman, a man I admire quite a bit. I'll probably leave a link here. He's a psychiatrist, although he's done other types of medicine like oncology and stuff like that. But he was told he was going to have to wear a mask, and he didn't do it because he felt it would be traumatic for the patients and for him not to be able to have that contact that a psychiatrist would need, hello. So they let him go, or he went or something. He lost his job over it. And, we need more doctors to step up and tell the truth. Of course, there are, but they won't be given time. And then anybody who talks about it is suddenly like a denier of something, or anti-vax germ theory denier, and all these stupid labels. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. I get angry about it as well. Okay, take it away, Rosenthal.
So this is where I'm going to leave this off. I've been trying to find the manager here is just, okay, if I was a big store owner and I saw this manager behave this way, I would say, oh, we've got a problem. I don't know how they're going to react to him. Maybe they're going to glorify him, but look at this. Just watch this, please.
Don't touch me. Leave our business.
No, sorry, you're not going to treat me like this and get away with it. You're not going to treat me like this and get away with it.
We do not want you in our business. Go away.
You're not going to have a business pretty soon.
Ma'am.
Good luck. Good luck.
Ma'am, it's like you're naked in my business. Please leave. You are naked in my business. No shoes, no shirt, no mask, no service.
You're in my face. Go away from me. Go away from me.
You're breathing on me.
After I just got rammed with a cart,
No
get
shirt,
away from me.
No shoes,
Get
no service,
away from me.
No mask.
Not the
Leave
law.
Now.
Not the law.
No shirt, no
It's
shoes.
a mandate
no
and
service,
order
no
is
mask.
not state law.
Leave.
You guys have no idea what legislature process is, the legislative
I'm
process.
denying you service. I can do it because I'm doing it.
I'm waiting for the cops. I'm waiting for the
And
cops.
I'm going to press charges when they get here, just so you know. And I will love it. Get over here.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's going
first
to
of all,
love it.
What's the deal with this? I've noticed this talking point that everybody says. I swear, I think some people are right about people receive a download. I mean, no shirt, no shoes, no mask. I'm doing it to protect you. I wear my mask to protect society. Blah, blah, blah. I'm over these talking points.
Because you're talking to, like I said, the generation that didn't grow up. Did you see how he acted? That was a manager kicking his heels up like a leprechaun, going, I can't wait. These
Well,
managers are going to make minimum wage, if that, and they're going to be wearing, I swear, the next move is jumpsuits. We're all going to have to go walking around in gray jumpsuits, though I do like gray.
Well, you know what I'm going to do. First of all, I wanted to say what they're trying to do here is push all the small businesses out and keep people at home because it's too frustrating to go out and deal with this BS.
Yep.
And so they will order from Amazon and make Jeff Bezos, the CIA connected man, wealthier. But I do have a plan for next time I have to go to the post office. I'm wearing mosquito netting over my hat. I cleaned it. I got it out of Edna before I took her up to the shop. Edna is my van, for those who don't know. And if anybody says anything, I'm going to say this is exactly the same amount of protection you think you're getting with your mask. I really am. I'm doing it. I can't take it anymore.
I don't blame you. No, I totally get it. You know, I have a scarf that's just, it's really nice because it's super thin and I can actually kind of breathe through it, but people don't know it but it has skulls all over. I wear masks with skulls. Like, okay, you want to be oogie boogie here, watch my skull face. You know?
You're cracking me up. Okay, my brother has sauntered over. I told Mother we were recording, but I don't think anyone got the memo. But Blaine, if you want to yell hello, you can, but I doubt it'll pick up.
Yo ho.
That's my brother. Always at the opportune times, I swear. Love him, though. Adore him. Okay, I'm going to pause my mic.
Oh, okay. So should I take it on to something else, I guess, huh?
Yes, do.
Okay, my next one, here I got to stop the cam and start the cam again. It's one of those things. That's one thing about this share screen. It's a smidgen limited, a smidgen. But we still love it because it's working really well. Okay, there you go. So hold on just a second. I'm going to mute and be right back.
I will unmute and chat for a second while she's gone as to not bore you to tears, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank
Here
you.
she is. Here she is.
I had to cough and clear my throat. So my next thing is the mandatory yoga masks. Okay, I used to do yoga religiously, and I love Bikram yoga, by the way. It's one of my favorites. And I'm going to tell you, it's like going into a hot, humid jungle. It is
Yeah, just explain that a little because I'm clueless on that, and maybe our audience is as well.
Yes, it's yoga. Well, Bikram is 26 regimented, very hard poses in 105 degrees and usually 55 degrees humidity because they're emulating the hot, dense jungles of Southeast Asia where Bikram came out with these yoga moves. And it is brilliant because it's like being in a sauna. You're so loosey goosey. You move into these poses. But I'm going to tell you, you put a mask on while you're doing this, you might as well be counting down to total pass out. And I'd give them 37 seconds and they're going to pass out. So here's the deal here. There's this yoga studio who politely asked a customer to either take off her mask or she would have to leave because they can't afford, obviously, this woman passing out or worse.
Okay, so it's just the opposite of what generally happens. They're telling her she shouldn't wear one because of the. Okay, I got it.
Okay, so I'm going to try and I'm going to just move it up to how they're trying to respond to this. Hello, here we go.
At the location, according to an employee who answered the phone when CBC called. Then they exert from the yoga studio's website. Our vision is that we all individually take full accountability for how we feel. And if we feel scared or sick, please do not come to our studio. That's it. That's all they took from the website. They also reported that Allison Claus says she showed up to the hot yoga class on Friday morning wearing a reusable cotton mask and was asked by one of the owners to leave the class. He said,
okay, so right here, I see one store can say it's our policy and we get the right to dictate how we want our customers to look and behave in our establishment. But this store or this business can't do that. The hypocrisy.
Yeah, it really is. And look, I'm not on a bandwagon or a soapbox about the family planning issue, but I just want to say that I've heard over the years, my body, my choice. And I'm not really hearing that now. Of course, the excuse will be that you're going to give everybody something, and that's look into germ theory in general. Please step out of this paradigm from how long ago, 150 years or something. It just doesn't progress. It does not progress. I'm sorry. You know how I digress onto that subject. My brother left, by the way.
Oh, okay. Did we scare him away?
I did, yeah.
Okay, well, you're absolutely. I think we should pound that into the ground. We are living on, their science, but I'm telling you, dear listeners, their science is over 100 years old.
Yeah, it's like 130. I forget the exact years of all this, but Louis Pasteur is easily debunked, and that's what I know. But you have this huge engine, this huge beast against you, and the pharma companies. They will badmouth you. They will make sure nobody else is heard who has a different theory. I mean, it is a huge, huge, huge machine. And John Rappaport, an investigative journalist who's been investigating that particular cartel for over 30 years, has been warning people for a very long time that this is it's a medical fascism we're going to have to look out for, or for which we will have to look out. Of course, we have to use proper grammar.
Yes. No, and I like to throw in this comparison here. You hear about car engines that come out and they run on water or chicken poop or you name it, and then all of a sudden a car company buys up the patent and ideas of this and they bury it because okay, you've heard it's true. It is really true. And it is also true in the medical industry.
Oh yeah.
Someone comes up with a better idea, they're buying it out and they're burying it, or they'll bring it up 10 or 20 years later after they've been using it. We can go into that later, but yeah, so I just also wanted to point out here too, this yoga studio is really not asking for anything but sanity. You cannot do this yoga with a mask. You will absolutely hyperventilate and you will pass out. And some people, you can't play with that because you may get a stroke. I mean, it's that serious. And yet they're throwing fits because this guy is just pointing out the absolute obvious. So they're shutting down, I'm just going to say, yoga studios near you
This is insane, but you're not going to believe what I noticed out of this whole thing first. Is this person's name was Mrs. Cloth or something? I mean,
Yeah, I know.
come on. Is this now that, I do listen to a fellow who thinks we live in some sort of scripted reality or fluid reality or it's a system. I don't even know how to explain it. But some of these names, I swear there might be something to that. I mean, was the, was the cloth person the one wanting to wear the mask?
Yes.
Oh, probably a cloth mask that she made. No, I doubt it.
Yeah, I took it as either they changed her name to protect her identity or she was an operative. And they just, these guys say, "Oh, they're so dumb, they won't get it."
I know.
It's
Hey,
ha ha ha, boo, it's a funny joke. And yes, so now we're back to part 2, and I just wanted to say I don't mean to come off negative in this show. I really don't. Um, Yet I'm having a hard time being a cheerleader for all of these people who want to be so subservient to a ridiculous situation. I'm
that's
leaving
an
it there.
excellent way to say it. I might not leave it there. I don't get to talk about it a whole lot. I mean, I do a little bit, but especially in my columns. Such a relief to be able to sit down and write something, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you feel you cannot write, just do it. It's such a relief. But at any rate, yeah, you're correct. It's just logically speaking, it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense because this has never gone on before. If you look at the actual numbers, it's not anything large. I'm just going to pretend like I believe everything exists and that science is the way we've been told with germ theory. And even in that case, it is not that big of a deal. And don't take my word for it. There are doctors out there that are more or less mainstream. They're not woo. They're not anything strange, who have been bringing this to light from the beginning, I might add, from the very start. They've been saying this is, wow, I've never seen any reaction like this. It's the reaction that I've been talking about to my friends and neighbors and my boss. I said it could be argued, oh dear boss, that the reaction to this is a bit over the top. Oh, I don't think so because people are keeling over dead and it's it came from China and it went all over the world. That's what he told me, and I realized then I was dealing with somebody that is just on a completely different wavelength. Okay, and with that, I am finished with that part.
Yeah, I think I got it out of my system. Thank you. it's
Not a
I've
problem.
I've been holding that in for the last few days.
Okay.
Hey, so I brought up something else to really switch horses in the middle of the stream here. Yeah, giants, of course. Ancient days. I keep telling you that I am convinced we are living on the bones of giants.
Well, I hope we're not living on their bones. Or do you mean we're living like,
Yes,
okay,
yes, we are.
on their bones?
Well, basically, I mean, I think if you go to basically certain places, you're going to just dig so far and you're going to find all this. See, hey, here's another thing. Have you noticed in your communities, before you dig, call the gas or electric company, make sure, blah, 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 right? You
True.
can't just dig, well, at least here, you can't just dig anywhere here. You have to get permission. And
Yes.
you can
Yeah.
only dig so far because see, a lot of people don't realize you own your property rights, and I think it goes down like 10 feet or 12 feet. Under that, people can grant mineral rights underneath your property. They can drill sideways if they have to get in underneath your property if they're after something.
I did not know this. Is this nationwide?
I don't know if it's nationwide, but I do know it's where I've lived in various parts of the West Coast. That's pretty standard.
Holy Ghost. Well, also another thing is that just quickly onto property stuff is that people think they own their property and they don't. You never own it because if you don't pay your property taxes, that sucker's going. So really, this whole freedom and justice and the American way, it just drives me nuts. And my brother's back. I'm going to mute.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start this little segment right here, right at this point, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Because they needed economic labor to work in the mines. So instead of breeding giants, as the Judeo-Christian tradition tells us, they created them using technology that the Babylonian man did not understand well, and that's why they only speak of creation. Modern man, of course, understands that creation when it doesn't happen through the sexual act. It means experiment or even in vitro fertilization. Anyway, the Anunnaki created the Nephilim, some giants, to work in the precious metal mines, mainly gold. Giants, how were the Anunnaki after all? According to the tablets of Assurbanipal found in Nevene, the gods coexisted with man, sharing their lives in the same cities. They were physical and palpable beings who ate, slept, and fornicated like us, and with the beautiful women of the earth. Both women and men felt very flattered to be able to have the privilege of sleeping with a god or goddess. No human could resist their charms, and if they did, it meant infuriating them, which translated into instant death. The Anunnaki were a warrior race, arrogant and with insatiable instincts of conquest and power. We know from the engravings that physically compared to men they were very tall, probably taller than 3 meters and also much stronger.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
Okay, because had you approached me with any of this jazz, what are we, 2020? I'm going to say 5 years ago, maybe even 4. I would have thought you were complete nut bar and would have said, oh my God, get a load of this chick. But here's how I found out any of this. And then I'll, of course, let you go on because I'm sure you want to talk about your video that you just played, but I just wanted to kind of let people know how I got into this. Jim Marrs, Marrs, I've mentioned him before, wrote several books. He was what he called a generalist. He got into all kinds of different theories. He called himself like a conspiracy investigator. And he wrote I don't want to say definitive book, but maybe on the JFK assassination. And Oliver Stone based his movie on it. And so I started to get back into him 2017. It's right before he died. And he was giving some sort of lecture. And he was talking about Enki and Enlil and all this jazz. And I'm wondering what in the world he was talking about, the pyramids and how they went and toured them and you could see this. And I had no idea what he was talking about at all. And now I find myself kind of knowing what he was talking about. And it's just been a strange journey. So that's all I wanted to say. But I'm going to pause this. I'm going to mute this for a minute. I might have to step away for just a second, maybe 2.
Okay, no problem. I have plenty to say. Yes, I love Jim Marrs. He was one of the people I listened to back in the late 90s going into the aughts. There's several of them that spurred me to actually open up my mind to the possibilities, well, not just because of the ancients and the UFOs and all the other things that come along with so-called conspiracy theories, but they opened my mind to the possibility that, just generally speaking, the K Ultra type spell casting, which we're under right now, was a real probability. That was my real eye-opener back. I think I started becoming awake back in 2010, right in there, 2009. Actually, 2006, I started really listening to these guys, but I finally got the ding, ding, ding moment, I think, in 10. But getting back to this, what I wanted to point out is I theorize that the Anunnaki, who were giants to us, they were big, huge men, at least 3 or 4 times our size, were made from the bigger giants who wanted them to dig the gold.
Wow, really? I'm back, clearly.
Yes, and the Anunnaki created us, the little
help
smaller
that-
man,
right.
to actually do the work, because I think they didn't want to really do it, or they couldn't. Maybe sometimes it takes ants to go into someplace really small and tight to pull out gold, don't you
Well,
think?
that puts a whole new lease on this or what have you, because
Yeah.
it's
Think
just,
about it.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, yeah, think about it. It's like they know there have been several sizes of humanoids here. And I mean, the biggest one they found, they won't tell people, but it's the skeleton is 36 feet. Think about that, 36 feet. And then they go, oh, how did the pyramids ever get built? Because us little hobbits, we didn't build them. The big guys did.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
Funny, but so true. We are the hobbits in the story, people.
Well, look, I don't, I just want to make something clear to the audience because people will clutch pearls. I don't necessarily know if any of this is written in stone. Well, look, it is. It's written in stone. Get it? I'm getting silly. My brother's even laughing. It's interesting to me. It's a strong possibility. I haven't made a total decision, but it's very fascinating. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah,
I can
well,
entertain a thought without accepting it. That's what I'm trying to say.
well, absolutely, and that's all I'm asking. I mean, nobody really, really knows, and and that's the other thing I kind of tired of, is the fact that we have these people going around like they're experts, texperts. How does that Beatles song go? Where they seem like they know everything, and they probably know less than us.
Oh, well, there's that one guy who has the absolute positive 100% model of how everything works. Well, you know what? A lot of people have models of how things work. So there's a lot of different models to make things work. Some of them are more complicated, other ones are easier.
Yeah, can I share something here?
Please do.
Speaking of inventing things and the perfect model that works. Okay,
Oh, yeah, neat.
this model worked. This model worked well until it didn't.
What is that?
It's a single wheel motorcycle.
Oh, my God, Blaine, look at this. It's a single wheel motorcycle. It is, totally. I'm sorry. We just have a studio audience now. We're recording live in front of a studio audience here on the port.
That's more. Yeah, that's great. We have a studio audience. But look at the men behind it. You can tell this was done, what would you say,
30s,
40s?
maybe the 30s. They look, because he has on, what do you say, those pants? I think it's 30s, maybe.
Yeah, I think more 40s. This looks like just around the war, post-war, give or
Yeah, it could
take.
be Warpath, whatever, long ago and far away.
Yeah, but this, I mean, these are great ideas, but how practical?
I know, exactly. Yeah,
I'm just showing, that we can all have, good theories, but sometimes they don't work, even in the Anunnaki. But darn it, I'm sure trying to make my best stab.
right. Well, I'll tell
Uh,
you. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to take that off. Yeah, so anyway, my best stab at showing people periodically that you've got to be open-minded to any possibility, whether I'm so far off from the whole thing, I really don't care. But at least I'm kind of questioning where our past is. And the reason why I press that so much is because it is so true. If you don't know your past, you can have no idea of your present and future.
I agree totally. Yeah, that's the thing. I just see things a lot differently now. For example, back in the old days, of course, I was quite a religious person and took the Bible in the way that those who really founded religion want us to take it. The people at the head of the church, that's been hijacked as well. And so I think that it can be read in many different ways, almost in code. And it could be telling the story over and over again of the catastrophe. It clearly is talking about some sort of tinkering in the Garden of Eden story, I think, with the Anunnaki and the Enki and Enlil and all that jazz. I just giggle over those names. I don't know why, but there's a lot of genetic manipulation. There's a lot of different ways to look at it. And so that's what I've been trying to do, is just see things in a different way. It doesn't do any harm. I mean, it's not like I'm going to base a law on or something. Yeah, I'm not going to go.
I'll be right back. Can you hear my dog?
Oh, yeah. I'll mute. I have something ready to roll here, ladies and gentlemen. I know that'll be edited out so I can say what I want. Do what you say what you will. One thing leads to another. She'll leave that in as a joke, probably. Okay. In terms of the Anunnaki, there are so many interesting things going on out there. And next time, as a slight teaser, I think we're going to talk about something called the Purple Dawn of Time, ladies and gentlemen. It has to do with the electric universe and Saturn theory. I really dig it. And right now I'm going to bring myself back in because I think we're going to end for the night and leave you with the Anunnaki and that whole scene, and hope that you're open-minded just to think about things in a different way. That's all we want. We want people to think. That's it. We don't have some hideous agenda like they do. You know what I mean? Like those who think they rule the world do. So at any rate, thank you very much for tuning in tonight to Oregon, Pennsylvania SOC. And I always remind you, don't clutch pearls.
And stay frosty.